Hey everybody, I'm John Ronaldo. That's Lance Zerline. You can hear us mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our content here. SportsMap HOU. World champs, baby. World champs. And we're only a couple days removed from that, and yet we have a lot of decisions to make, Lance. So let's make some decisions.
We don't.
Well, let's say you're Jim Crane, okay? How high will you go for Justin Verlander after what you saw this season, what you saw from him this postseason, and what you know you have coming back?
I think it's pretty tough. If you could use that money to help stabilize or even build on areas of concern for your offense, I think it's going to be very difficult for the Astros not to go in that direction. Framber is getting, every day that passes, he's getting closer to a big payday.
Well, he's going to get more money in arbitration. We know that.
So we already know he's going to get it there.
So the $25 million for sure you paid JV to come back.
Well, yeah,
would you go to 30?
Yeah, I would, but I also know that if Justin Verlander walked, would it be the worst thing in the world if it freed up some money to bring in another bat?
Okay. Well, you also got to free up some money. Well, you got some money to spend on the arbitration guys. Yeah. Plus, you got Brantley. Plus, you got Yuli. You got free agents that you might want to sign. But would you go 2 years, 60 for JV?
If I were Jim Crane and you didn't care about Hunter Brown's clock, and you cared about Hunter Brown's clock, and you potentially would be willing to trade Urquidy or Garcia, yeah, why not? Okay. I don't think you're keeping both those. I don't think you're keeping both Urquidy and Garcia with Hunter Brown in the mix. I think one of those guys gets moved for a position player. Would you be willing, John? I'll turn it on you. Would you be willing to see your guy Urquidy get dealt so that they can get a position player and maintain 2 more years of Justin Verlander at $30 million a year?
I don't. As far as
30's a pipe dream, by the way.
I don't think that's the Astro way. What with 3 years of arbitration left on his contract.
30's a pipe dream. He's not going for $30 million. He will still give you great value at $3, $4, $5 million a year. He was a $700,000 guy now. He's going to still give you very good value, and the Astros always look for value and competency. Okay. How will he give you value if you have 5 pitchers ahead of him?
Well, he's still going to be used. They went to a 6-man rotation. Anyway.
You got Hunter Brown in the background. I don't think it makes sense to keep 7 starters because that's what you have. I don't think it makes any sense to keep 7 starters.
Well, Hunter Brown can also, as early in his career, come out of the bullpen a lot like Javier has.
But if he's great, why mess with it?
Yeah, well, because he has come out of the bullpen, and you've seen him come out of the bullpen as well. That would be, how about you got Hunter Brown in the 7th, Abreu in the 8th, and Presley in the 9th? That's pretty formidable. That's pretty formidable.
Yeah, for me, just going through this with you, it shows that there's a lot of dominoes that are impacted. If Justin Verlander leaves, I think it opens up a lot potentially for you to do this or that. Maybe not a ton of moves, but I think you could take Verlander money and give that to your $25 million and give that to Anthony Rizzo and have your first base spot locked down. You take your Framber money, you take your Uncle Mike money, not your Framber, but your Yuli money and Uncle Mike. You move that over to the other, arbitration eligible players, and now all of a sudden you've got 6 starters who are all really good, really effective, and you've locked down. You've helped out your lineup.
So, so in other words, you're saying that you would rather have Rizzo instead of Verlander. And it's going to be close to the same amount of money. Rizzo is going to cost you 20-some. Verlander's going to cost you 30, whatever. I would rather have – I don't think you're a better team if Justin Verlander leaves. I would rather have Verlander and, say, a Jose Abreu at about 10, 12. I would rather do that than what you want to do.
You're making yourself a little older now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've got a couple – this window – it doesn't have to close. This window is wide open, so I would like to keep on going. What about Yuli or Brantley? Big priority for you?
Nope. For all the reasons we just talked about.
I wouldn't mind Brantley back at a discount. I wouldn't mind Brantley back at another 2.
How old do you want your Astros team to be now?
Well, I'm still young. Are you kidding me? I got 8 arbitration guys. I'm fine. But I'm good.
Is 39.
You got to have some. You got Altuve, that's an older player. You're going to have Verlander, that's an older player, and Brantley, that's an older player.
Abreu is older.
Yeah. That's 4 guys. That's fine.
I don't think Maldonado's young, but he's catcher age. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
No, Maldonado is Jiner Diaz is going to move himself into that spot pretty soon. So I'm not worried about age with the Astros.
You know what's funny is I saw Astros fans who are resigned to the fact that they are fine without Justin Verlander. And I think that's one of the most interesting things. And I think it's, for me, it's less about what happened with the World Series Game 1, and it's really more about what Christian Javier has become. It's really more about Fromber. It's really more about Hunter Brown showing you flashes of what he could do, and and the rest of the pitching staff. I've never seen anything like this where you have 7 potential starters. You had that on your playoff roster. You had 7 starters on your playoff roster.
He couldn't even get out there.
And I think a lot of a
lot of the year he was your 3rd starter.
But you know what can get out there? Anthony Rizzo. And that's my whole point, is that would it have been the worst thing in the world to see Jose Urquidy or Luis Garcia starting and have an Anthony Rizzo at first base? That's why it's not about I don't like Justin Verlander. I love Verlander.
I just don't think
you
they're
can
going to pay
fade it
Rizzo
at
money.
pitching. I don't think you can fade it with your lineup. Yuli coming through was monstrous.
Yeah.
But that was not something he did all year long.
Well, I mean,
until the postseason.
I think we're both of the mind that Yuli might be done.
Yeah.
And you can upgrade first base. I just don't think they're going to spend the money on Rizzo. I think that the Abreu money would be more appropriate for the Astros.
That's more their method.
And yeah, absolutely. And you know what my style is, Lance? My style is Coors Light, cold, clean, crisp, refreshing Coors Light. It's the world's most refreshing beer. And people, it'll keep Texas chill. You know how hot it is out there. Keep Texas chill. Did you enjoy a few Coors Lights while you were watching your baseball team, or while you're watching your football team, or while you're not watching anything, while you're just sitting around the house when your friends come over? I don't care what you're doing. Make it a cold, clean, crisp, refreshing Coors Light. Keep Texas chill. What about Diaz? Aledmus Diaz. We don't talk too much about him. His performance in the postseason really soured me on him coming back. But, he was a nice piece. At any time you had somebody go down, that guy could step in.
Unless he was down.
Yeah, that's true. He's been down a lot.
Anytime somebody got hurt, it was usually Aledmus Diaz. You could have also said that sentence.
Yeah.
So, no, I think because of the fact that he's becoming an oft-injured utility player who was lost at the end of the year, and he's not a young player anymore, I think it's highly unlikely they bring him back. I think they'll look for his type of player but younger. I think they'll look for Yuli's type of player but younger, Uncle Mike but younger. I think they know what they're looking for. I think the Astros organization, I have a lot of confidence. You and I can sit and debate this or debate that. One thing that's certain is that with Jim Crane at the helm, they've had some pretty good decision makers, and they've had a pretty good philosophy. And some of it's been luck. Some deals that could have gone through didn't go through, and deals that maybe you didn't expect to go through went through, and some of the you let Carlos walk, and Pena did more than you could have ever expected. So, in Jim I trust.
Yep.
Right now, that's my feeling.
Yep, Jim, the two Jims actually done a pretty nice job. What about Chaz? Has he proven that he's the everyday guy?
I give him a shot, yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
And you got Jake in the background, and you got Leon that possibly could be coming up in the next couple of years as well. I don't think you got to go get a center fielder. I think that Chaz proved that the stage just isn't too big for him, and maybe he takes a huge step now after this.
Yeah, but I do think that finding a left fielder wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
What about, we haven't talked about J.D. Martinez.
I mean, that's another
DH, but he
veteran knows how to hit.
And Jordan could switch off every, once in a while. They switch off in left field. J.D. Martinez coming back here might reinvigorate him, and boy, that would be I wouldn't mind that at all, seeing J.D. Martinez here.
No, it would follow along in a Michael Brantley path, only I think J.D.'s older than Brantley. But it would follow along in that path a little bit of, hey, let's take a seasoned professional hitter,
yep,
and let's see if we can squeeze a couple years out of him. And with Brantley, you squeeze 3.5 years out of him. So maybe he would be. I think it falls in line with what you're talking about. The Astros they don't look to pay retail. The Astros look to pay. That's why Rizzo, I would love to see Rizzo with the Astros, especially at age 32. He should still have plenty of good baseball left. But the fact is they'd rather go bargain shopping and trying to find and they've made a living out of that with pitching staff, with position players. You got Brantley on a pretty good deal. They're smart, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't think they're paying for other people's stuff. I think they're going to Goodwill and saying, oh, this is a good one, this is a good one, this is a good one. And it's worked so far.
You can find a lot of good stuff at Goodwill, Lance.
You can.
You really can.
Baseball Goodwill for sure.